it's tougher than ever to be a kid in Florida because it's such a crazy place. Every time you turn around, grown-ups are leaving you to sit in a hot car while they party at a Lil Wayne concert, hit a bar for a few hours, or visit a strip club. In 2013, so many dads left their kids alone to hang out in strip joints that a newspaper suggested that such establishments should co-locate with daycare centers. Even babies have it rough. In 2013, a woman caught shoplifting tried to avoid arrest by hurling her baby at a cop. Still, growing up in Florida has its perks. You can expect at least one class field trip to see the rocks and rockets at Cape Canaveral. You can play outdoor sports year-round. If your family can afford it, a big if, given how prices have gone up, you can count on at least one vacation trip to a theme park. Disney World, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Legoland, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you name it. They're all within driving distance of the state's major population centers and open nearly all the time, ready to take everyone's money. There's even a theme park called the Holy Land Experience that recreates Jesus' crucifixion 6 days a week. We here in Florida are so used to having these giant fantasy generators just down the road from our daily reality that it can be hard to picture what Florida was like BW, before Walt. When I was a kid, Walt was just some guy with a Sunday night TV show. The closest we got to Fantasyland was the goofy golf place on the beach. I grew up on a red clay road on the edge of a town named Pensacola in the farthest western part of the Panhandle. The sky was filled with Navy training planes by day and blinking fireflies at night, except when the mosquito control truck drove by spewing a billowing cloud of bug spray. Some kids pedaled their bikes along behind it, taking in big lungfuls of the stuff, trying to get high. I believe they all grew up to become members of our legislature. Summer vacation meant trips to the beach, particularly Fort Pickens, a relic from before the Civil War, surrounded by glistening white sand dunes and sea oats that swayed in the breeze from the Gulf of Mexico. Or my family would go fishing, reeling in our catch from a lake full of bream. Or we'd stand on the beach casting our lines out into the surf, hoping to snag a pompano. Or we'd go camping. I remember one vacation where my parents tried to drive a pop-up camper to every state park we could hit in a week. At one point, we stopped by the famous Suwannee River, the one that's featured in Florida's state song, written by Stephen Foster, who never actually set foot in Florida, and how very Florida is that? While my parents cooked on a Coleman stove, I tried to cross the shallow, burbling water on some slippery stones. Halfway there, I slid off and fell in. Back then, I was mortified because my pants got wet, but now I look back on my Suwannee baptism with pride. In those days, there was no Gawker, BuzzFeed, or Huffington Post to label our state as weird based on the news we produced. Yet my parents, devoted readers of the morning and afternoon papers, frequently pointed out to me the oddball stories they saw, the funny crimes, the stupid things politicians did. Back then, we thought California was the weird state. That's the one the comedians made fun of. To someone growing up in Florida back then, things that other people might consider weird didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. Didn't everybody have elected officials who called themselves the He-Coon and the Banty Rooster? Didn't everyone occasionally wear a swimsuit and flip-flops to the mall, the grocery store, even church? Didn't every beach town have a house shaped like a flying saucer? I mean, didn't every state have an economy that relied on drunken sailors, horny college kids, and speculative home building? In school, we had to learn the names and locations of all of Florida's 67 counties, but that was about it. Meanwhile, thanks to the Cuban Missile Crisis 90 miles off the Florida coast, we had to take a course in our senior year called Americanism versus Communism. Our legislators feared that in case of an invasion, we'd bow down to Fidel Castro as our El Jefe unless we made a close study of J. Edgar Hoover's Masters of Deceit.